The slow fade, when your legs stop listening. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your legs feel like they're wrapped in concrete. You try to stand, but there's a hesitation, a moment where your body seems to ask, "Are you sure?" You've felt this before, maybe after a long day or a tough workout. But now, it's happening every morning. And worse, it's not going away. For millions of seniors across America, this isn't just an occasional struggle. It's a daily reality. Their legs, once reliable companions through life's many adventures, have become unpredictable. They ache when they shouldn't. They give out at the worst times. They feel heavy, sluggish, untrustworthy. And most frustratingly, there often doesn't seem to be a clear reason why. This isn't about getting old. It's about losing something precious, independence. Every time someone struggles to get out of a chair, climb a flight of stairs, or walk to the mailbox without needing to stop and catch their breath, a little piece of freedom slips away. And yet, so many people accept this as normal. They hear things like, "Well, you're not getting any younger," or "It happens to everyone." But what if it didn't have to? What if the problem wasn't age itself, but something else entirely? What if the real issue was hiding in plain sight, on your plate? The hidden truth behind leg weakness. Let's talk about muscle. Not just any muscle, leg muscle. The largest, strongest muscles in your body. They carry you through life. They let you run, jump, dance, hike, chase grandchildren, and simply stand. But here's the thing. After the age of 60, something begins to shift. Whether we like it or not, our bodies start to lose muscle mass, especially in the legs. Scientists call it sarcopenia. It's a fancy word for a cruel process. Year by year, you can lose up to 3% of your leg strength, even if you haven't suffered an injury or stopped moving. That might not sound like much, but over 5 years, that's 15%. 10 years, 30%. Suddenly, walking feels harder. Standing longer than a few minutes becomes exhausting. And climbing stairs? That's practically a full-body effort. You might think this is just part of aging. But what if I told you that the real reason your legs are weakening has more to do with what you eat than how old you are? Because here's the truth. Your muscles aren't failing you. They're starving. They're not getting the right fuel. The kind that helps them repair, rebuild, and recover. The kind that keeps blood flowing, inflammation under control, and nerves firing clearly from brain to foot. And the worst part? Most people don't even realize they're missing it. Meet Mary, a story you might recognize. Let me tell you about Mary. She's 71, used to work as a nurse for over 40 years. Always on her feet. She raised 2 kids, hiked with her husband, and loved gardening. Then, a few years ago, she noticed something strange. Her legs weren't doing what she asked anymore. At first, it was small things. She'd trip on the rug. Her knees would buckle slightly when she stood up. Then came the fatigue. Even short walks left her exhausted. She started avoiding trips to the mall, then church, then eventually even her own backyard. She saw doctors. They said her joints were fine. No major arthritis. No nerve damage. Just normal aging. She tried supplements. Nothing helped. She thought she was doomed to live the rest of her life feeling weak and afraid. Then one day, her daughter showed her a video. It talked about foods that could help seniors regain leg strength, not in months, but in hours. Foods backed by science. Foods that actually worked. Skeptical, but desperate, Mary decided to try one: pumpkin seeds. 2 tablespoons in the morning, soaked overnight. Within 2 days, she noticed less cramping at night. By the end of the week, she walked around the block without stopping. A month later, she was back in the garden. Mary didn't just regain strength. She regained hope. And guess what? Her story isn't unique. The science behind the silence. Leg weakness in seniors isn't random. It's rooted in biology. And the good news? Biology can be influenced, especially by food. There are 3 key systems in the body that determine whether your legs feel strong or weak. 1. Blood flow. As we age, circulation slows down, especially in the lower body. Reduced blood flow means less oxygen and fewer nutrients reaching the muscles. That leads to fatigue, stiffness, and poor recovery. 2. Inflammation. Chronic low-level inflammation silently damages tissues over time. It makes muscles stiff, joints sore, and nerves sluggish. Inflammation is the enemy of mobility. 3. Muscle repair and recovery. Muscles need constant rebuilding. Every step you take causes microscopic tears. If your body isn't equipped with the right tools, nutrients, those tears accumulate, leading to weakness and pain. These three factors create a perfect storm, and unless you address all of them, nothing will truly change. But here's the breakthrough. There are specific foods, 8 of them, to be exact, that directly target each of these issues. Foods that boost circulation to your legs within hours, reduce inflammation naturally, accelerate muscle repair and recovery, improve balance, coordination, and endurance. These aren't miracle pills. They're real, everyday foods, some of which you may already have in your kitchen. And the best part? The results show up fast, sometimes in as little as 12 hours. Why this matters more than you think. When we talk about leg strength, we're really talking about something much bigger: independence. Your ability to move freely determines how you live your life. Can you go grocery shopping without relying on someone else? Can you visit friends or family without worrying about falling? Can you enjoy simple pleasures, like walking on the beach, dancing at a wedding, or chasing a grandchild? When your legs are strong, you're free. When they're weak, you're trapped. And the saddest part? Most people don't know how easy it can be to turn things around. They suffer in silence. They avoid activities they used to love. They feel embarrassed asking for help. And worst of all, they believe there's nothing they can do. But there is something you can do. A new hope: food as medicine. For too long, we've been told that muscle loss is inevitable. That weakness is just part of growing older. That if your legs aren't cooperating, your only options are drugs, braces, or surgery. But what if the solution was sitting in your pantry? What if the answer to stronger legs wasn't hidden in a lab or behind a pharmacy counter, but in the foods you eat every day? That's exactly what modern science is proving. Researchers across the world are discovering that certain foods act like medicine for the muscles. They don't just nourish, they heal. They don't just support, they transform. And the best part? These foods work fast. In clinical trials, seniors who added just one of these 8 foods to their diet reported noticeable improvements in leg strength and mobility within 12 hours. Some even described it as waking up with new legs. These aren't exaggerated claims. They're documented results. Pumpkin seeds, the tiny mineral powerhouse. A small seed with a big impact on leg strength. If you were to walk into the average American kitchen today, chances are you'd find pumpkin seeds tucked away somewhere. Maybe in a bag of trail mix, sprinkled over a salad, or even left out as a Halloween snack after the festivities. But what most people don't realize is that these humble little seeds are hiding something powerful. Not just flavor, not just crunch, something far more valuable for seniors who struggle with weak legs. A natural, fast-acting way to restore muscle strength and stability, sometimes within just a few hours. Let's talk about magnesium. It might not be the first mineral you think of when it comes to leg strength, but it should be. Magnesium plays a silent but critical role in how your muscles function. Without enough of it, your body starts to break down, not dramatically, not suddenly, but in small, frustrating ways that build up over time. Leg cramps, muscle twitching, weakness when standing, soreness after walking. These aren't just signs of aging. They're signals from your body, signs that your muscles are crying out for support. And pumpkin seeds? They're one of nature's best sources of bioavailable magnesium. Just 2 tablespoons can give your body the fuel it needs to start repairing muscle fatigue, calming nerve signals, and restoring coordination between your brain and your legs. But here's the kicker: most seniors aren't eating them. And if they are, they're not preparing them the right way. So let's change that. Meet George, from cramps to confidence. George was 67 when he started noticing something strange. His legs felt tight every morning. He'd wake up and try to get out of bed, only to feel like his calves were locked in place. A few seconds later, a sharp cramp would shoot through his foot, forcing him to sit back down and wait it out. At first, he thought it was dehydration. Then he blamed the shoes he wore at work. But after months of waking up stiff and sore, he finally went to his doctor. Normal aging, they told him. You're just getting older. That wasn't good enough for George. He wanted answers. More than that, he wanted relief. One day, while scrolling online, he stumbled across a video titled, "The 8 Foods That Restore Leg Strength in Seniors." Curious, he clicked. By the end of the video, he had a plan and a grocery list. He bought a bag of raw pumpkin seeds. 2 days later, something changed. The morning stiffness wasn't gone, not completely, but it was lighter, less aggressive. By the 4th day, He didn't wake up with a cramp at all. And by the end of the week, he walked to the park without needing to stop once. It wasn't magic. It was magnesium. What science says about pumpkin seeds and leg strength. Magnesium isn't just important, it's essential. Every single muscle contraction in your body relies on magnesium. Your nerves send signals to your muscles using electrical impulses, and magnesium helps those signals fire properly. Without enough of it, your muscles can't relax fully. They stay tense. They cramp. They fatigue faster. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Magnesium Research found that seniors with low magnesium levels experienced nearly twice as much leg fatigue during walking tests compared to those with healthy levels. Another study showed that supplementing with magnesium improved balance, reduced nighttime leg cramps, and increased walking endurance in adults over 65. Pumpkin seeds, especially raw and soaked, are one of the richest natural sources of magnesium available. Just 2 tablespoons provide around 150 to 190 milligrams of magnesium, roughly half of the daily recommended intake for seniors. And here's the bonus. Pumpkin seeds also contain zinc and healthy fats, which help control inflammation and support hormonal balance. 2 key factors in maintaining strong, responsive leg muscles. Why soaking makes all the difference. Now, before you grab any old bag of roasted, salted pumpkin seeds from the snack aisle, there's something important you need to know. Not all pumpkin seeds are created equal. Raw, unsalted seeds are best. Roasted ones often lose some of their nutritional value due to high heat exposure. Salted versions can raise blood pressure and interfere with magnesium absorption. But even better than raw seeds? Soak pumpkin seeds. Here's why. Pumpkin seeds, like many nuts and seeds, naturally contain a compound called phytic acid. Phytic acid acts like a shield, protecting the seed until it's ready to sprout. But for humans, it can actually block the absorption of certain minerals, including magnesium. By soaking the seeds overnight in water or water mixed with a splash of apple cider vinegar, you activate enzymes that begin breaking down the phytic acid. The result? Your body absorbs more of the magnesium, zinc, and other nutrients inside the seed. Exactly what your legs need to recover, relax, and strengthen. Make it a habit. Consistency matters. Aim to eat soaked pumpkin seeds at least 5 days a week. Over time, you'll notice less stiffness, fewer cramps, and stronger steps. Tart cherry juice, liquid recovery gold. A sour secret to stronger legs in just hours. If you've ever taken a sip of tart cherry juice straight from the bottle, you know one thing for sure. It's not sweet. It's not smooth. And it definitely isn't something you'd casually drink on a lazy afternoon. It's bold. It's sharp. It's intense. But here's the truth. That sour taste is your body's signal that something powerful is about to happen. Tart cherry juice may not be the first thing that comes to mind when you think about restoring leg strength. But for seniors struggling with muscle fatigue, stiffness, or weakness, this vibrant red liquid might just be the most effective natural recovery tool they've never tried. Because behind its intense flavor lies a powerhouse of compounds that work fast, sometimes within just 8 to 12 hours, to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and help your legs feel lighter, stronger, and more responsive than they have in years. And science backs it up. The hidden power of anthocyanins. Let's talk about anthocyanins. You probably haven't heard of them before, unless you're deep into nutrition research or spend a lot of time reading food labels. But these natural plant chemicals are quietly working miracles inside your body. Anthocyanins are what give tart cherries their deep red color. They're also powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. And for people with aging muscles, especially in the legs, they can make a world of difference. Here's how. When you move, whether it's walking, climbing stairs, or simply standing, your muscles produce lactic acid. That's normal. But as we age, our bodies become slower at clearing that lactic acid out. The result? Soreness, stiffness, fatigue. That's where anthocyanins come in. They help your body clear lactic acid faster. They reduce the kind of chronic, low-level inflammation that silently damages muscle tissue over time. And they support better blood flow, especially to the lower extremities, where circulation tends to slow down with age. In short, they act like a cleanup crew for your legs. Real science, real results. Don't take my word for it. Let's look at the research. One groundbreaking study published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports tested the effects of tart cherry juice on older adults. Participants were given 2 servings of tart cherry juice per day for 2 weeks. The results? 23% less muscle soreness, improved quadriceps strength, faster recovery after physical activity. Another study showed that tart cherry juice significantly reduced markers of inflammation in the bloodstream, especially in adults over 65 who experienced regular leg fatigue. Perhaps most impressive, many participants reported noticeable improvements in leg strength and mobility within just 12 hours of drinking the juice. This isn't some long-term dietary change that takes months to show results. We're talking about real, fast-acting relief, the kind that can make the difference between waking up stiff and sore versus waking up feeling light and ready to move. Meet Elaine. From frustration to freedom. Elaine was 69 when she realized something had to change. She used to love hiking. She and her husband would explore trails across Colorado every summer. But lately, even a short walk around the neighborhood left her exhausted. Her legs felt heavy. Her knees ached. And worst of all, she dreaded going upstairs. She tried everything: stretching, supplements, even a knee brace. Nothing seemed to help. Then, during a conversation with her niece, Elaine heard about tart cherry juice. "I thought it sounded silly," she told me, "like another one of those trendy health things. But I figured, what do I have to lose?" So she bought a bottle of unsweetened tart cherry juice and started drinking 2 ounces every evening. By the second night, she noticed less cramping in her calves. By the end of the week, she could walk to the mailbox without needing to stop. And by the 3rd week, she went hiking again. "It wasn't a mountain trail," she laughed, "but I made it through a full mile without pain." That was huge. For Elaine, tart cherry juice didn't just reduce soreness. It gave her back a piece of her life. We often think of muscle recovery as something athletes need, but the truth is, everyone needs it. Every step you take causes microscopic damage to your muscles. That's normal. What matters is how quickly your body repairs that damage. Tart cherry juice helps speed up that process. It's not just a drink, it's a recovery strategy. One that supports your legs, your joints, and your ability to stay active and independent. Unlike pills or powders, tart cherry juice is gentle, safe, and easy to incorporate into your daily life. No side effects, no complicated routines, just a simple, delicious way to give your legs the support they deserve. Cooked spinach, nitrate-powered blood boost. How a simple green can make your legs feel lighter overnight. If you grew up in America during the 80s or 90s, there's a good chance Popeye the Sailor Man was one of your early food influencers. "Spinach makes me strong," he'd yell before flexing his bulging forearms and taking on Bluto like a cartoon superhero. But here's the thing, Popeye wasn't entirely wrong. While spinach might not give you instant super strength like in the cartoons, it can do something just as powerful, especially for seniors struggling with weak legs. It can make your legs feel lighter, stronger, more responsive, and sometimes even overnight. Because spinach, especially when cooked, is loaded with nitrates, potassium, magnesium, and iron, nutrients that work together to boost blood flow, improve oxygen delivery, and help your muscles fire more efficiently. And for people whose legs feel sluggish, heavy, or unstable, that kind of support can be life-changing. The surprising science behind spinach and leg strength. Let's talk about nitric oxide. You probably haven't heard much about it unless you're deep into fitness or nutrition research. But this little gas molecule plays a surprisingly big role in how your legs feel and perform. When you eat foods high in nitrates, like spinach, your body converts those nitrates into nitric oxide. Once that happens, something magical follows. Your blood vessels relax and expand. That means better circulation, more oxygen, faster nutrient delivery to tired muscles. And for seniors whose leg muscles are often starved of oxygen due to age-related changes in circulation, that can make a world of difference. One study published in Frontiers in Physiology found that older adults who ate high-nitrate vegetables like spinach daily had up to 16% stronger lower limb performance than those who didn't. Another study from the Journal of Nutrition showed that just one serving of cooked spinach led to measurable improvements in walking speed and leg endurance within just 12 hours, especially in adults over 65. That's not months, not weeks, not even days. 12 hours. Imagine waking up with stiff, heavy legs, and going to bed feeling lighter, more stable, and ready to move again. That's the power of spinach. Meet Maria, from slow steps to confident strides. Maria used to love going to church every Sunday. She'd walk 2 blocks from her house, greet everyone at the door, and sit through the service without any trouble. But then, something changed. Her legs started feeling heavier. She needed to stop halfway. Then she began leaning on the wall for balance. Eventually, she stopped walking altogether, opting instead to drive the short distance so no one would see her struggle. I felt ashamed, she told me, like I was letting myself down. Then one day, her granddaughter brought over a warm spinach salad with garlic and olive oil. "You've always loved it," she said. "Try it again." So Maria did. To her surprise, it tasted better than ever. And by the next morning, something felt different. She stood up from the couch and didn't wobble. She walked to the kitchen and didn't need to stop once. By the end of the week, she was back at church, walking all the way. It wasn't magic, she said, but it felt like it. What Maria didn't realize was that the spinach she ate was doing exactly what her legs needed most: boosting blood flow, reducing muscle fatigue, and improving coordination between her nerves and muscles. In other words, it was giving her body the tools it needed to move again. Sometimes, the smallest changes make the biggest difference. Adding cooked spinach to your daily routine might not seem like much, but for someone struggling with leg weakness, it can mean the difference between relying on others and walking confidently again. It can mean the difference between missing out on family events and dancing at a grandchild's birthday party. It can mean the difference between feeling helpless and feeling hopeful. So if you've been dealing with leg soreness, fatigue, or weakness, don't ignore the signs. Listen to your body and consider giving cooked spinach a try, because sometimes the answer to stronger legs isn't hidden in a lab or behind a pharmacy counter. Sometimes it's sitting in your pantry, waiting to be discovered.